Here we are on beautiful Jones Street.
You saw Ted Jones.
Is this? Oh, I have to hold this.
Yes, guys, 6th annual Ted Jones World Vegan Hot Dog Eating Contest here at the Comedy Shop, July 4th, 2 p.m. It's a free event. Come through behind the scenes on Snapchat. Guys, without further ado, his 3rd appearance.
I was gonna say it.
On the Ted Jones World Podcast. JJ Liberman. JJ, good to see you, man.
Is this the most repeats?
I think Mario Bosco's got like 6.
What do you mean?
But you're close.
Oh, fuck.
You're close.
That's crazy. I mean, Mario was sitting outside and people just walked by, these 2 young Italian guys.
I'm walking on the street with that guy, man.
Yeah, he's a celebrity.
Everybody knows him. You know what? It's interesting about him is, I've told him this too. If
he was on the Cosby Show.
Right, but also if he had his account that was like popping as much as the other account, like he appears on everyone's account.
Yeah.
But his account does not do how famous he is justice. You know what I mean? Him having like 60K views, 60K followers, but like he's got like I guess for the most part, like the background of having somebody who's got like probably a million followers, you know?
Dude, what do you want? You know, I look at it like this. I mean, sure, maybe you don't have but you're in the mix. As long as you're in the mix, that's all that matters. And I was going to also say, we don't have to look that, right?
What?
Do you want me to look at the camera?
I want you to look at me. Look at my eyes, bro.
It seems like every time I come on, there is the hot dog eating contest. Why is that? How many do you do a year?
We do 1 a month. No, I'm just kidding. We do 1 a year. Maybe it's because like every time you come on, there's been like a 9-month gap. I feel
really?
Like. Yeah. So it's just like approaching.
Look at this studio.
Yeah, man. This is it, dude. The Lantern Comedy Club down here. A lot of history down here. You performed down here years ago?
In 2015 I performed here. Isn't that unbelievable?
That's crazy.
10 years later.
Is that when the stage is right here?
Yeah, the stage was right back here.
Yeah, people talk about the horrors down here, but also like the great shows.
It was great. So this was right after. I'll tell you a fucking wild story about it. So I was in New York for my first time, 2015, 3 years into comedy. I had 1 club set with Comedy Records at New York Comedy Club. So me and
What does 1 club set mean? What do you mean?
Like I just had 1 club. But it was like my first New Year. You know, there was a time before like everyone was on social media. If you posted something, like if you're doing a club tomorrow,
you post a picture.
Yeah. But
that's it. Then that's hot.
It was a huge deal. So let's say you went to Australia tomorrow and then you're doing the big comedy club, or let's say even better yet, London, and you're doing the secret, whatever that big club is. If you posted that would be a big thing. Right? It would be a huge thing. So I post a picture doing New York Comedy Club. I'm doing it. So it was a big deal. But now everyone and your fucking grandparents are on social media, right? So it's not that big of a deal. People don't see it anymore. Lost in the mix. But what was interesting, I came down here with a funny story.
Who's that? Who?
It's a comic in Toronto. So he writes on a lot of the roast shows. So like he's written on roasts that Schultz has been on. He's an incredible joke writer. So Schultz got us a spot here. This is when Are You Garbage was part of the team running it here. I think it was 2015. So that was my first introduction. Isn't that crazy?
Dude, I know. I mean, on this podcast too, I've pulled up clips of Schultz talking about him barking outside, him, Akash, and then Michael Blaustein, how they would need 4.
Blaustein was doing it?
Yeah, dude, like those 3.
Wow.
They needed like 4 people to watch a show down here. It was a free show. They would beg them to get the 2-item minimum. And then like if there were 4 people down here, as soon as it happened, they would start the show.
And then the next class was the Are You Garbage. So when I met them and they were super, like, I think 3 years ago, they really got famous. I'm like, I know, where are you guys from? And then they told me the story. I remembered them, how I could remember them, like their look. They have like their look, the 2, you know, I mean, their character look, you know, sure. Foley's like.
So wait, but what happened? You did shows with them and then there was like a few years that went by and then you saw them once they blew up?
Well, I didn't, during the pandemic, I was completely out of comedy. So I had no idea who they were. And then I was playing poker and not focused on anything comedy. Yeah. So as soon as I got back, and I took 1.5 years off of comedy to grind poker in Vegas. Okay. In Vegas. So when I I didn't know what was in the state of comedy. I had no idea, except my closest friend, Ryan Long, is now famous. So I came back, and then, once you move to New York, you learn everything. But here's the funny story about that New York trip. So you come to New York, and 3 years into comedy, it's a big deal. The perception, you go back to Toronto, but I'm sharing a bed with shout out, one of the funniest guys I've ever been around. He helped me build my act when I was a year in. So one night I'm watching Bill Maher on HBO. We're sharing a hotel in Long Island City. He's as disgusting as people think I am. He's more of a troll. Like, you know that like Jewy under a bridge look? You know, the frumpy. You don't have it. I kind of have it. You've like done everything not to be no. You couldn't.
Why
tell.
do people fucking say that, bro?
So
I'll do my tour portion right now.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
If multiple people say it, it's a thing.
What? That I don't.
That's covering your face.
What's
This part is covering your face. It is a heavy thing, guy.
I know.
This is crazy.
I know. Like when Bosco holds it, he's like down here holding the fucking thing. They're good mics. So.
This is my last hurrah.
You're saying I don't look it?
You don't look. No, it's not just don't look it. You escaped.
I don't escape it, Lieberman. Bro, look, if anyone asks me, why do you think I'm in charge here, bro?
If they ask. But you're the guy. So, and me are in this. We're sharing one bed. We didn't have any money. We're 3 years into comedy. I was, at this point, I was 36 years old, so broke. I gave
so you started pretty late.
33 years old.
That's crazy. Good for you.
So broke. Dude. And when I started, I had money, and I got so broke that I had this $5,000 Breitling watch.
From the poker days?
From the poker days. But then I got back into poker, which is another thing. But yeah, so initial poker days, Super Ocean Steelfish, that I had this beautiful watch. They don't even make that model anymore. They make the model, but not like the way the dial looked with the Roman numerals. Or what? How do you say it?
Yeah.
Roman numerals. And it was a beautiful sapphire blue. Oh, it was beautiful. Anyways, so I ran out of money because I came into comedy with about 20 grand. Ran out of it after my first year. All I had left was this watch. I pawned off this watch for $1,500 to pay rent. I used that money to titty fucking escort.
Stop.
What happened? Not all 1,500, but probably 300.
Damn.
I still had enough to pay rent, but it was like, I didn't have any money left over.
What year in comedy did you feel like you really started to hit your stride? Because I mean, from what I've seen, it's probably been within like the last 3-ish years.
Oh,
right?
well, I mean, I always had a buzz 3 years in. 3 years when I moved to New York, there was already people were talking about me because this is when I started talking about the gay shit. So I started being like a very aggressive on stage. This is right before what people don't realize. The trans kind of big movement was 2016. So I was talking about like gay stuff, bisexual stuff, 2015. So that was like a different take. And then, can't. Tits and a dick on a person, you can't, not as interesting. But yeah, I was like kind of comfortable, but I would bomb a lot. But back to, hold on, this is the last point. So we're staying in this bed in Long Island, say 2 broke comedians, 3 years in, and I'm watching Bill Maher, and I just look over to he's under the bed, and I just see his hand doing this. I said, "Guy, what are you doing?"
Was there a pillow in between you guys?
I don't remember. I was like kind of passing out. And he was talking to this chick who's a stoner chick in Toronto.
He was having phone sex with a girl?
On the computer. And he was like...
Instant messenger sex?
Instant messenger sex, beating his meat right beside me. I go,
oh my
get
God.
the fuck out of the bed and go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
He goes, I wasn't doing it. Then 30 seconds later, he takes his computer, goes to the bathroom. I love him to death. He was just so, like I said, under the bridge troll. So just unaware of the thing that made him brilliant is kind of like the thing that made him crazy in comedy, because he was like just so unaware of the elements other than his fucking, but one of the funniest guys I've ever been around. Anyways, love you, buddy.
That's wild, dude. And then, you know what? It takes, I mean, you tell me, but I do feel like it takes a long time to just find your voice, you know? And it seems like you have found your voice, not recently, but I guess within the last two-ish years.
Well, it's hard too, right? You know, I mean, I don't ever. I think what anyone does is hard. You know, I think like I have buddies who are pilots, and I really think I talk to a lot of the pilots. I think a lot of those guys really don't get credit for how good they are at what they do.
Bus drivers potentially too, wouldn't you say? I mean, I guess you don't know bus drivers, but like there aren't really like a lot of MTA bus accidents.
Yeah. No, I mean, right. And this like kind of goes to a point of it is a weird thing. Now we live in a society. Well, I feel like this is the craziest we've ever in terms of divide. It is kind of crazy.
It is
the fact that there's so many homeless and displaced people that, you know, you walk over them to go to protest. If they even really realize they're like, what are you doing? Oh, we're trying to help people. We're to get out of the way. We're trying to help people who are suffering. You know, isn't that funny though? You see just all these like crazy, even walking over here. But yeah, I think so. To my point, I think what we do is really hard. And even if you kind of know what you want to talk about, it's still very difficult to execute. I just think that's kind of, especially when you're trying to be excellent at something, you know, because in life, you can take a path so you can just be comfortable, or you can take, you know, the higher road risk. Life is just hard too. And I think
it is hard.
It is hard, right? Like, yeah, look at you. You're grinding your face off. Like, you're trying to make videos, trying to write comedy, trying to basically, you know, help run a place, and then still get up, you know, 15 times a week. You know, that's not easy. But with that being said, also too, woe is me. I would never feel bad for someone doing that in comedy, because I mean, this is not like nobody's ever put a gun to your head to be an artist. So this is kind of, you know.
Yeah, it's what I signed up for.
Yeah. You did sign up for, and you weren't like coerced in any way, unlike some 18-year-old kid who was recruited to, you know, forced conscription in his country. Kind of, you know, like there's a lot of countries that do forced conscription. When
What's
you turn
conscription? It's just like you have
the
to
military.
serve in the army.
Yeah, when you're 18.
Right.
And there was a time now that, I don't know if you ever saw it, when they did forced conscription, they would do lottery draws. So basically everyone born on that date or whatever, or however they did it, which is so wild now.
Yeah, my grandpa, that like happened to him.
Yeah, right. So yeah,
insane.
And could be very close to that again. So, I kind of recently have taken this as, you know, as an extreme luxury to be able to not only do this, but make, you know, an incredible living right now, which could go away very easily.
Right.
As soon as I get Me Too'd.
Yeah. Talking about the shirt too. Yeah. So, and you're having a lot of brands. Are there any brands that you specifically wouldn't potentially want to work with because it doesn't align with what you're trying to do?
Costco. What do you think of that? Because you would do Costco, guys. Eh? Do you like that stuff?
What do you mean?
Do you like the?
Boo.
Yeah. Do you like those idiots?
I don't really know that.
Yeah. No. Well, you know what's so interesting about him? Do you know his history?
No. The dad of the guy.
Dad.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, the guy who goes, "We bring the boom."
I mean,
that's what we do.
Everyone must know him now.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe the older generation.
Okay, well, you put the picture right here.
Yeah, pop them up. Thanks,
look at that fat family right there.
Yeah, but what about them?
No, I actually do. As much as I say that, well, what's so funny is that was cringe 5 years ago, and now it's the biggest thing in the world, and all these brands. What's crazy to me is like people will like shit on my content, but then you have stuff like that, and even Mr. Beast, who I think is so fucking fascinating. I think he's great, very talented and innovator and stuff like that. I mean, they're force feeding chocolate stuff down kids' fat mouth, right? Like and these people are where they'll come to my content and say that I'm bad for society, and yet you have people like promoting garbage foods. You know, it's like, that's crazy. I think if you were to say what's worse for society, it's all these people that go down that mainstream lane promoting garbage and stuff, opposed to a guy who's like clearly a comedian and joking on the internet. Also, this is not it's not my responsibility to see who watches my stuff. Flip side, you might say the same thing about it's not your responsibility who eats that stuff. But if that's all that's made available now in diets, that's a big thing. Like the food we eat is garbage.
And I wonder if we're turning a new leaf. You know, I'm vegan, but I just feel that being in New York also, there are a lot more options. And then you're seeing people are starting to talk about not wanting to eat seed oils.
Seed oils, yeah. I try to avoid that.
Yeah. So I think that potentially we're going in the direction of being more healthy, but at the same time, you still have all the options available. I actually to eat whatever you want.
I think like-minded people who care about their health, I just don't think most people are thinking about that. I just, it's like, again, phone. Give your kids phone in the back of the car. Make them, just watch, and then all of a sudden their minds. It's easier to parent that way. It's easy, but it's worse outcome. Yeah. Same with the food. It's easier to parent. Just give kids whatever garbage. I was actually lucky that I ate with my parents. I ate 2 meals. I ate whatever food I had, and then I had to sit down with my parents, and they would eat like baked chicken and shit.
What part of Canada did you grow up in?
Toronto. I'm on a fast right now. I'm so
hungry. What hour are you on?
Like only 16. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, me too.
But I just saunaed.
Oh yeah? I love a good sauna. You have one at your gym?
Yeah.
But also being in a place that is like a food desert, that's when it's really difficult. In most cities, you have access to a grocery store, but there are towns where you got to drive 15 miles to the nearest grocery store, and all the foods available in that grocery store are shit.
And not only that, there's I saw a documentary on it. I forget the details of it, which is a problem when I know I watch it, but I don't remember it. There something about like in a lot of the broke towns where the Dollar General is like.
Oh yes, I definitely saw this one.
So there is strategically placed.
Yeah, you walk in, it's like Sunkist, ginger ale, Cheetos,
no, but also too where the Dollar General is. In what towns it's like strategically placed, so people just end up grocery shopping at the Dollar General.
And the organic food section is the smallest section.
Well, I don't even think people know, and it's probably way too expensive. So, anyways, I think it's like I love the term psyop. I think it is like big sugar. There is people behind it that wants people to eat shit. I mean, it's money. It's big money. It's huge money. And don't get me wrong, my taste buds, I haven't had a pastry in over a month. I crave it all the time. Really? Yeah. Unlike you don't crave.
I mean, I'm just such not a foodie. Like I'm working on this this podcast at Snapchat with Mario. I guess I could talk about it a little bit with you guys here. We're doing a podcast where we invite over New York stapled restaurants that have a vegan option and non-vegan option, and it's called
Pretty funny.
Yeah. So they're bringing, like yesterday, Chip City, this like cookie company.
Oh, I love Chip City.
They brought in vegan options and non-vegan options.
Great idea, by the way. Yeah. Does he get to taste both?
Yeah, he tasted both yesterday, but like it was against the rules. So I told him,
really?
Like, Bosco, what are you doing? No, but it's fun. We have fun banter. But anyway, like I was saying, that was like the most sugary thing I've had in probably a year. I'll go home and I can have chickpeas, avocado, Brussels sprouts, rice,
salt,
quinoa, add a little salt.
You don't like salt?
I don't need to add salt. I just have hummus. I'm not a foodie, so like I'll have raw cashews, I'll have nuts.
You don't like put in some fucking sugar. Beautiful Himalayan sea salt on?
That's funny, I do. But sometimes I can't even taste it. Because of how much food you need to put a lot on to really taste it.
So I think the beautiful thing in life is
salt.
It is flavor.
And back in the day, they used to trade salt, like pounds of salt for goat or
wars
something.
were over spices.
Yeah, crazy. Sorry, what were we gonna say?
Why do you think Jews like things overcooked and heavily salted?
I don't know, but I think I do. I like things that are overcooked, like a really toasted bagel.
Is your family also vegan?
No, but my dad was pretty much vegan for about 1.5 years, and then my sister was pretty much vegan for 2.5 years, and then I went the full diet.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how I got the taste of it. And then also I had jaw surgery, so that's the reason why.
Right. Do you think the ketamine fucked up your taste buds?
Interesting. I don't know.
So you don't remember prior to when you were just dancing around?
Oh, I do, bro. Well, I used to drink a lot. I used to go to McDonald's all the time. Oof. It's delicious.
The McDonald's breakfast?
Yeah.
Dude,
I would go to the gym at like super early, and then after I'd have like whatever it was, it's like a McGriddle with the hash brown, iced coffee with the cream.
That's it. I had a high cholesterol. So you want to know? So back to the discipline thing. So I got tested for. I get my blood work tested all the time, and about a month ago. Sorry, let me just turn off my phone. About a month ago, I after 6 months of blood work, I still had high cholesterol and high ApoB.
And what's ApoB?
It's probably the biggest, most important marker of cholesterol.
And were you trying to get your cholesterol down for the 6 months or not really?
I was taking citrus bergamot, but I didn't make enough adjustments. So he's like, let's get you on not a statin, but another medication. I said, give me 1 more month. Cut out cream, cut out pastries, cut out.
I can't believe you didn't do that initially.
Cut out cheese.
Bread, yeah, cheese, man.
Well, I very rarely eat bread. Maybe on a cheat day. I went from the top 80th percentile. This is less than 6 weeks to top 27th percentile from diet.
I think it has to do with the dairy. It's cream from dairy, right? It's the cheese. It's really fucking up society.
I'll be honest with you.
Because it's the phlegm.
I love it.
Cheese? Oh. Well, dude, it triggers the same part of your brain as heroin, apparently.
I love all the things that are, like, I flew in a 21-year-old 2 weeks ago.
Guy or a girl?
Chick. I have to be careful because this could be trafficking like Diddy. I flew her in to be my sex slave.
What does that have to do with cheese?
Under what's the term? What Diddy did? She couldn't leave.
Baby oil?
Oh, there was coconut oil.
Cheese? Good.
There was no cheese. No, some chick came to a show a month and a half ago. Dan Janine flew down to Florida to open for me, and this chick came to a show, and I actually bombed. It was like my worst show I've ever had in front of my own audience.
And she still was down?
Well, I was
That's the best thing that you ever want.
I was funny, but the crowd was bad.
Okay.
Then she hung out afterwards and then disappeared. She went to, so I do a meet and greet. Did you see the meet and greet here? So there's a lot of like,
it's great.
Yeah, it's great. But so she comes over, hugs me. I get instantly hard.
Pop it up right here, prove it.
And then, so there's a lineup of people. I'm like, I don't know if they can see because I don't want to look down.
Stop. You had sweatpants on or you tucked it into your sweatpants?
Well, I wear pants like those when I go on stage.
And then you just tuck the boner into your pants.
Oh, well, I couldn't adjust because it would have been so weird. So anyways. And then she disappeared. And I said, where did this bitch go? I spent all night looking at stories, and then I found her. So we started talking. Yeah, she posted a story because she took a picture of us. So I just hearted it, and then she DM'd me.
But you had it. This is when you met her. Was that?
Yes.
At that chat, right.
So then she's like, I got to come to New York. I'm like, oh, well, I'll pay for your flight. We come out, we hang out. Hurt my hernia again. Have to go now. Surgery. This is what happens when you want to fuck someone in their 20s and you're an old man. And then so I have my surgery booked for next month. But yeah,
Jeez.
I like the finer things in life.
Yeah. Okay.
But you have to be disciplined not to have them. So the cheese is out. Although maybe I have surgery in July, so maybe one time I'll have pizza.
How long?
Before.
What are you allowed? I mean, it's like a 3 or 4 day just like rest, and then you could kind of get slowly back into things.
Yeah, they're like
can't lift like I imagine within a couple weeks.
They're talking about 2 weeks. You're back.
Really?
Well, it's this.
Same with my jaw.
What happened?
They told me it was just like relax for like 2 weeks, and then you could slowly get back into it.
They want you. So they cut you open. And I'm doing it at a clinic, so I stay there for 3 nights, so they can monitor, which is great. My doctor said, you can do the surgery where you're in and out, and I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind just 3 days, kind of just like whatever.
Yeah.
But by the 4th day, I go out and I'm right on a plane. I'm booking my flight on the Monday. Like I get in Thursday. I get in Wednesday, surgery Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then
where is it?
It's in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
And then, but yeah, I'm going to probably even the next Friday go on the road. You know, I just have to be careful not to lift my bags and just be smart. But, you know, I mean, it's, I don't know, like, don't you feel like you can't not be active?
Yeah, it sucks. Being bedridden for 3 days is tough.
Well, but they tell you, they tell you to walk around.
Oh, okay.
So they get you walking, and I don't know, that's fine.
So talking about touring a little bit, how far ahead are you booking dates?
No, I actually just took off a bunch of dates. I kind of just want to focus on just content right now.
Right. And well, I would think though, like every, 6 to 8 weeks, you're getting to a point where you could potentially ask for more money, right?
I only go where I'm confident I can sell tickets. And I made a mistake where I was like, I'm going to do Naples, Florida. The guy reached out to me. And it's like, I have a younger in their 20s following. Right. So New York, we did the show here. Sold out 50 tickets, but I sold out a month in advance. Yeah. Chicago, I'll sell out. But, you know, Austin, I sold the most amount of tickets. But there's probably only 5 places aside from those 3 places. So maybe 8 places in America I can sell tickets right now. So the goal is to I don't know. The goal is just to have fun. To be honest with you, have fun, make content.
What do you think? What do you think that is? Like, why isn't the content spread out to a place where you are confident that you could go to somewhere in the middle of the country and know that you could sell just as many tickets as?
Well, because the people who one, I can probably, and in London I could sell tickets. You see your breakdown. Like you can.
No, I know, but I'm just asking why.
I think what ends up happening is the opposite of someone who does really well in the Midwest is that your content kind of, whoever's successful, again, you don't really get to choose who likes you, but it kind of more into like that city kind of vibe where, you know, I could just picture people in the Midwest in like the suburbia, Oklahoma, like gooning, you know, I mean, you know, not really getting it.
Yeah. And maybe it's the idea that they have access to live performances in these bigger cities where you can go and see the bigger venues. And then maybe in the middle of the country, it's like, oh, people plan their one Thursday night out going to see a random headliner that they maybe have not heard of, when in the city, more people are visiting all the time, and you have options of seeing.
Yeah, I actually feel that's a fear. That's a danger of stand-up comedy, is that the more and more people get successful online, the less and less people are going to go to random shows, unless those shows, like at the Mothership in Austin or at the Cellar in New York or at so-and-so, have names that people cultivate, which is scary for everyone, because then the places that are like the B and C rooms that are so important for existence will like disappear, because now, or the adjustments made is that they, you know, everyone needs to, it's very important in this day and age to have like people, like I did that one club last week. It was like 5 social media people. Crowd was packed. That's the other thing. Now people who are influencers now get a lot of stage time, which become better.
Do you say the influencers become better?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Or I mean, if they're really smart, they'll have people write for them, to be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough game. The game's different. The game always changes. So you always kind of have to be ahead of it. You know, I could have kept on making front-facing videos, but I'm like, nah, I gotta level up. That's why I've made the sketches.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. And I have kind of noticed that.
Well,
like there was, I think it was like last summer where you were doing a ton of them. And then you got to a point where now you're posting like real stand-up and then the sketches too.
Podcast clips.
Yeah, sure.
The problem with the podcast clips is that it can also hurt. So I don't know. It's maybe I'm too like... maybe I'm too over analytical about this, but I'm just like very calculated of what I do. But again, I want to make money now.
Yeah.
I do this for, my first thing is to be very funny, but also the second thing, you still have to pay your fucking bills. That's a problem with this city.
Yeah.
It's so goddamn, you know, dude, this is a problem in New York. You leave your house and you can spend $30 and you don't even know what the fuck you spent it on.
Easy.
I don't know if that's
one
just
meal.
Is that just because we have bad money management?
No, I just don't think that there's access to the $9.99 full dinner spread that you're able to get. You know, like any store that you walk into and you want to eat out or whatever, you're spending $20 and then you get a little sweet tooth at night. Then you're getting seltzer and fruit. That's $8.
That's exactly what I do.
Let me do
seltzer and fruit.
Like I'll get the 2-for-1 Uber Eats deal over here at the burrito bowl place. So I spend $20, 2 burrito bowls. I haven't eaten all day. I'm eating both of those. Then I get a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
I'm getting fruit. And then also when I get the fruit, I'm getting a seltzer. I've just spent $30 and I didn't want to spend any money today.
No, dude, that's the real thing.
And that's like not me being bad at money, I don't think. But in other places, you know, you grocery shop and you spend $150 and you're good for a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, my mom used to spend $150 and it would be like good for 2 weeks. Although
with the family.
Although all the good stuff was gone on day one.
Sure.
All the snacks and chips.
Oh yeah, dude. And if I go grocery shopping, like, and the food is available at my house, I'm eating, you know, like $70 worth of groceries in one night.
Yeah, that's a problem also I have. Yeah, no, really.
You know, like, yes, it's great to grocery shop and you save money theoretically grocery shopping. But for me, if it's in the cabinet, ready to go, and it's like 11:30 p.m., bro, I'm eating it. I've been eating all day.
It's an late night eating. You know, there's times where I'm like, oh, I could eat at 2 a.m. I'm like, I'd rather just eat it. I kind of think the best way to live in terms of food management, that if there was a pandemic, if you're eating healthy, you should starve because you have nothing prepared. You know what I mean? Like, but I do keep now. I'll keep 3 days worth of food in my apartment.
Oh, okay.
In terms of like beans and stuff.
Yeah. I always
for
have
me and my
cans of
dogs.
beans.
But if something lasts longer than 3 days, I'm gonna take a gun and take myself out.
All right. Well, I also have like the lentils and quinoa, but I'm just like, I never cook. So that would be like my last resort.
But that's good though. You should. But also too, people think, my buddies were saying this, they're like the guys who I live with now. Okay. So if something happens, if there's nukes coming, we're going to get in the car and go. I'm like, you're dead.
No matter where you go.
No matter where, you have 6 minutes. You know, it's a 6-minute thing, right? Is
that it?
That's it. You have 6 minutes. So basically what happens is the president, when a nuke is on the way, the president has a decision to retaliate or not. And that's a 6-minute decision. Now, I think all presidents. Now, I think there are people in place, I could be wrong, in the government who make those. I don't know.
So there's a legit red button.
Oh yeah. So have you ever seen that guy Andrew Bermonte or whatever he is, the ex-CIA guy? He used to work in the nuclear. Dude, they have to every hour like test if they're willing to pull. So they don't know if it's a test or it's real. So every hour, people that work at nuclear facilities are just always there and like turning the button or something like that or pressing. They don't know if it's a test or real every day. That's all they do. Something like that. I don't know the exact thing. Same with the dollar store. Or I could be mixing up the Dollar General. Or like every time you work at a dollar store, you have to clock in every hour.
Dude.
And the nuclear facilities has just
wild.
A small organic section.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, at the same time though, like if it's quick and easy,
well, that
suck, but whatever.
That is
would it suck? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? Who knows if there's an afterlife? I was actually talking about that. Like, man, what if the afterlife is you're just doing this? Great. But what if the afterlife is you're doing something you don't want? Because I thought about like, well, what if the afterlife's great? I'm like, is it good for a chef? Well, the chef always loves to cook for other people. So yeah, it would be great. But what about the line cook who's just working a regular job and now he goes to the afterlife as a fucking line cook at McDonald's, right? So I was like thinking about that. Because sure, if there's an afterlife and we go up there and you're just podcasting and doing spots, you're like, this is great. But I mean, is it fair for everyone, right? You know, because it's so unfair right now. It truly is so unfair. So
yeah, well, I do think that there's some things in life that you're given that it's not fair because other people don't have it. But then there are some things that you've worked very hard where other people could have worked just as hard and potentially got to that point.
Maybe
it just depends.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, again, that's a lot of it. We've won the passport lottery. We won the even though I was like raised like middle class. I mean, that in itself, even at one time, my stepfather lost all his money. He had a rich upbringing, lost all his money. I went from like living really well off to like sharing a small apartment with my mother and my sister. But even that, life was still good. Like even when my mother left my stepfather and we had nothing compared to what we had the year before, life was still fine. Like my mother was still working, selling homes and stuff like that. And, even during a bad economy, she still had money to give me. And I was really always working hard and always hustling. Like I stripped in college because I knew I didn't want to rely on my parents, even though they have helped me. I didn't want to. This is the greatest thing about making it or being financially stable in comedy is you don't have to fucking rely on your parents. But they should help you out. I also if I have kids, I want to help my kids become the best of what they want to be. I aspire to be Shane Gillis in terms of Tickets or Louis or something like that. You fall 90% short, you're selling 1,500 tickets. You know what I'm saying? You fall, you look at a guy like Ryan Long, who can sell, my boy who sells does a club, sells 1,500 tickets a weekend. And I aspire to be that. I fall 90% short. Every weekend I'm selling 150 tickets. It's $2,500, $3,000 every weekend doing what you love, plus all the other stuff. So I think not everyone will be that like elite thing, but if you have the work, you can't teach resilience. You ever watch Tim Grover? The guy who trained Michael Jordan?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, he's right. Everything he says is right. The things that David Goggins say. Now, do you want to be an ultra marathon? Fuck no. But ultra marathon runner. But with that work ethic, you can do whatever the fuck you want. That's how I think about this. And that's why now that's why I moved back to New York. I'm living with two other guys, and we're just focused on like good content, comedy, doing spots. I don't know. I think I feel we're lucky. No one can tell you how you're going to make it or what you're going to do. But I do think people say if you just work your fucking ass off with a plan, kind of like you have to have a game plan of what you're trying to do, right? Like my game plan right now is to write every day, to do sets every day, to build a new 30 minutes for next year so I can put that out because I'm about to put out 30 with also sketches, doing this and doing that while inking deals to make money. The business side of it, while also doing things like this. I feel these are very important to do. Like I wasn't relevant for 12 fucking years. And then all of a sudden one video went viral and now it's in like the small, again, I don't take it too serious. I really don't. I do, there's like 5% of me that are like, okay, it's cool, funny stuff, but it's also like stupid. I'm farting on the internet, I don't take it too serious, but I am like putting effort towards it. But I also don't take it too serious. So I don't even think about it. I wasn't even thinking about virality. I wasn't at the time. I was just like, oh, let's try and be funny in front of a fucking camera. And then one was kind of funny and not. And then I just kept on making them. And some of them are not funny still. Some videos I make are not funny, but the goal is work hard, be funny. And I think that's I
think that's my goal too.
Yeah. And then, maybe that you don't have a plan and that's all it is. There's no shame, I think. They're having more fun than us.
No, definitely not.
There's no shame. I look at this always, especially in comedy. I can't tell anyone else. But like they used to make fun of Canadian Football League players because you work during the season, you only make $30,000. So you have to, CFL players were like teachers. Yeah, teachers. And like, there's no shame in that. There's no fucking shame. I used to do podcast stuff with Gas Digital, and that's how I was making my living. And was I a front guy? No, but was I making money in industry? life was good. I was show running a year and a half ago. I was flicking a light, getting by every month, borrowing money to pay my rent from friends, and then paying them back 2 weeks later every month, like clockwork. And I was happy. I was really genuinely, I was like, I'm living in New York. If this is it, I tour with a good friend of mine. You know, if you can build good friends in this, and I mean, maybe this is an older thing, but the older you get, if you generally have good friends in this, and you're making money, and you need a part-time gig or whatever it is, or you have people helping you out. If you have your family, yeah, my parents helped me out till I was in my 40s. I was living on the floor at 41. I had no money. I was sleeping on a yoga mat. I had to ask my mother for $200 to buy a bed.
Crazy.
At 41 years old, with two sick dogs.
No shame in that, man.
No shame. I take pride in that. I'm fucking paying back. This year I got, I sent my mother a gift basket from this like nice company in Toronto, and I wrote her. It was probably the first real birthday present I could ever get her, could ever afford to get her, and I said, hey. I asked my sister for the address. I bought it for her, and I was like, don't expect this next year because I'll probably be broke. But no, I don't kill. I don't sexually assault. I don't do that. I mean, there's a lot of things you should take pride in. You're doing spots in New York City. I think it's a very prideful thing you should do in comedy, because most people are in like fucking Pocatello, Florida, or whatever, doing comedy part-time. Sure, this is not the Cellar. You should know that. But this is something. This is something to take pride in. There's hundreds of fucking comics who are lined up every day that would give their fucking life in New York than 10,000 people in the United States who would love to be here.
Before we get out of here, though,
bring back Mario.
Yeah, right. No, I'm joking. Let us know where we can find you, where you're going to be spraying all over the United States. This episode will be out next Thursday.
Fuck yeah, JJ Lieberman live.
Let us know. So what's the deal with your OnlyFans? What's going on with that?
Oh, I just did an OnlyFans TV taping comedy. It was up. It was fine. It was done.
Like 10 minutes?
Oh, yeah, 10 minutes. Me and Che Dorena do a podcast called Two Goons Podcast, and it's been cooking. The long form's not really cooking right now, but every video's gone like.
And you have like porn stars on it.
Biggest corn stars.
Porn stars, right.
Corn stars, as I almost snotted on the mic. Biggest corn star. Biggest corn stars. I was actually thinking about doing that as a thing where I do like This Week in Corn every week, and I just make up spoofs about like famous.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Do it. I am going to do it.
Okay.
Literally,
This Week in Corn.
6 a.m. this morning. I woke up and I'm just getting on my phone. And do you get up a lot in the middle of the night?
And just write stuff?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sometimes I'll get up in the middle of the night and then just write something. I'll have a good idea.
Yeah, it's good. Great. That means your brain's fucking working, baby.
Yeah, man. JJ, we'll see you many more times here at the Comedy Shop, the Lantern Room down here. Again, JJ, you're the man, bro. Thanks so much for coming.
That was good. Hopefully I didn't annoy people with my rant.
No, you didn't. You gave us some wisdom, and we always appreciate you. JJ Lieberman, part 3, part 4, hopefully sooner rather than later. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We'll see you soon. Peace.
July 2026. Is that good?
Yes, bro. You were great. Thank you.
Sorry for ranting.
No, it was great.